What role were you doing? Like currently, like was it in a
Software.
DevOps role or a
No, no, no.
software suite?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a software engineer, software developer role that I was in. Proper software developer, doing coding stuff, and just knowing nothing about DevOps, knowing nothing about uh, Docker. Yeah, I knew some bits because I heard it from my friend.
This video is sponsored by Teleport. Are you juggling with shared secrets, SSH keys, or hopping between VPNs and multiple access points? Check out Teleport to quickly access your computing resources from anywhere. Teleport allows engineers and security professionals to unify access for SSH servers, Kubernetes clusters, web applications, and databases across all environments. With a unified resource catalog, there is no need to maintain inventories. You can also work together to troubleshoot a problem with your colleagues on a remote server or on each other's laptops and record these sessions as well using shared sessions. Teleport also provides ready-to-use auth for your internal web applications. Easily implement security and compliance with Teleport to adopt industry best practices for access across all protocols and all environments with minimal configuration. How does it work? Teleport is a single binary which enables secure access to SSH nodes, Kubernetes clusters, web apps, and databases. Deployed as a single binary, it seamlessly integrates with the rest of your stack. Get started with Teleport now and try it for free. Check out the links in the description below for more information.
After this, I just was doing this plane for around 3.5 years. Just at the ending of my era at HP, yeah, there was very interesting things going on in HP. Like first of all, like people who are watching, do not resign without offer. That's the first lesson you should learn. So unless you have an offer, please do not resign. It can give you a lot of pain, because I was actually in too much pressure that time. Because you are a fresher, you are waiting for your first job, and waiting to earn something, and you might have different aspirations. Like I have to buy something from my mom, and you might have something different. But it was like I was waiting so desperately, and suddenly nothing was there. So make sure you do not do that. Okay, now going back, we were doing a lot of things in Liferay, and there was one event which was called HPE Discover. So there was an annual event. Now, why HPE? There's a story behind it. So as soon as I entered HP, I heard a news in a couple of days that HP is going under a split, which will be HPI and HPE. So it will be going under a split, and we were like, what is happening? We just came, and there was a different kind of scenario in the organizations. People started shuffling, they started moving. Some of them moved to HPI in my team, some of them moved to HPE. There was a chaos that was happening, though it happened in a planned manner. But obviously, you enter an organization, it goes under split. Very interesting times to be there. I was there when HP split into HPI and HPE. So we were shifted to the enterprise part, Hewlett Packard Enterprise, and then there were these kind of annual events called just like KubeCon is today. So HPE has their very massive event called Discover, which still goes on. Now there was a competition that you have to do something, and you have to post entry in such a way that create a video, and an innovative video kind of audition for your ticket to HP Discover. So only 6 people around the globe will be selected for this event, which will be a paid free trip to Las Vegas. That was, and I was like super happy. I wrote a rap song. I did that in some of the bits and pieces, recording in different locations. I don't know where that video is. Hope I can get someday to that video in one of my hard drives. It should be, but it was amazing, and I got the first prize over there. And then I was all set to go to Las Vegas, but my US visa got rejected, because I was just 6 months into the organization. And how US visa works is kind of, they usually in your first 6 months, when you don't have the reliability and your people, so in their mind they might think like he might settle down over there and things like that. So usually that was what I told, usually your visa gets rejected. So my visa was rejected. I was very upset, and I was very, very sad. In my first 6 months only, I got the opportunity to visit and meet Meg Whitman, who was the CEO at that time. It was amazing times. Then in HPE again, next year there was this competition. I again participated, I again won, and this time it was in London. And luckily I got my London visa. I went over there, and that was the time when I got to know about technology, because that was the actual technology showcase. I got to know about a lot of machine learning use cases, a lot of data center racks that people were building, a lot of technology organizations, just like the KubeCon booths are there. So people were building the booths. They bought the booths over there. They were there to showcase the technology. I had the VR racing, the fully automated BMW vehicle powered by HP. And then you have the different kind of technology showcase, like a shirt tagging one was there. Like if you have a pile of shirts, and then you remove one shirt, and your as soon as you remove one, your entry in the system will also get removed. Then there was one interesting one, a generator is there, and in that particular generator system you have some of the sensors, and then you have good dashboards with it powered by HP technology. And you get to see, like, just before actually something goes wrong, there's a maintenance alert, which was catering a massive use case where you have thousands and thousands of generators in a particular factory or whatever it is. So, and that was the time I decided.
In which year was this?
2015, I believe. 2015 or 15 ends, something like that. So that was very interesting times, and I got to know a lot about technology. I came back, and I took a couple of weeks leave after that, because I was very tired from all that stuff. And suddenly, now in my organization, my manager called me up, and he told me, Saiyam, one person is leaving a particular project. The project is Docker based. Would you like to come over there and contribute? Now, I know nothing about Docker at the moment. I know very limited about Linux, because the only thing that I played around in my college life, and that's it. And that project was core Docker project. We were using Docker Enterprise version that time, and proper Docker Hub was there. Everything was there. And one of our very good folks was leaving the organization. Then I got the spot.
By this time, Kubernetes was like 2 years old, I think. Very new.
Yeah, very new.
In
yes,
2016,
yes. Right,
2 years old.
Right. Mm-hmm. Very new. And I said yes, without researching. I said, yeah, if I get to learn something new, why not? So I bluntly said yes, just because I have heard of Docker, and I've heard my friends doing some of the cool stuff, and I said yes, let's do this. So I didn't know anything about ops. I didn't know anything about all these DevOps, how this works, CI/CD, anything. I just came, and we were like, there were 3 people in the team. I was the 4th one, and they were like super cool people. So I was told, like, you have 1 week. These are some of the notes, and these are some of the KT material which is there, like some of the documentation. Please go through it, and then you can support the platform, and we can start building the new stuff. I said okay. I went through the Docker website. I went through some of the Linux courses, how actually Linux works. I downloaded a virtual box, and so basically Linux is an operating system. So I downloaded the virtual box. I installed Ubuntu flavor over there, and I started working on that Ubuntu box, and doing some stuff, installed Docker, and played around with some of the images and all that stuff. And then I was started getting the work on the DevOps side. So that was introduced to the DevOps world. And there is a book called which one is that? Phoenix Project. So that was a book which was like, if you are entering into this world, definitely have a read through this book, because it kind of explains you the whole DevOps culture which is there. So it was very interesting. And then I started my DevOps, like the Docker or Kubernetes journey from there.
This video is sponsored by Datree, a tool that you can use to prevent Kubernetes misconfigurations from reaching production. Using Datree, you can catch misconfigurations in the development phase and set or create policies to receive failure alerts. It's useful for different stages of deployment and helps you measure resource usage by applying mandatory labels to workloads. 10,000 plus engineers are already using Datree. Check out the links in the description below to get started today.
From this particular project, I'm still in HPE, which was soon to be merged with CSC Corporation to become DXC. So without changing any organization, it became my third organization that I was working in. So it was DXC, and then I was working very hard on the Docker Hub project. I knew all the stuff. I changed the certificate in production and things went down for a couple of hours. So I have done this, and but we quickly changed that, and because I was the only one and rest of the people were in US time zone, until the time they wake up things are already bad and I didn't know how to fix it. So things like that happened, and it was very interesting over there because people were learning a lot. Bash scripting was there, used to write some of the script. ChatOps was very new, so I worked on something called HuBot, which was there like to get responses. Slack was very new and people didn't know, but we as a team were developing Slack bots using HuBot. So as soon as there's a build which is getting complete, we used to work with it. So we had Jenkins, we had Docker, so we Dockerize, we have Jenkins, we have GitHub is there, and then you have your HuBot is there for ChatOps. So these four were the major things that we were doing at that particular point of time. And now our team was kind of growing, and in our team our responsibility was to enable others. Now we were enabling other organizations, so other projects, we went to them, we took their small portion, did a DevOps dojo. So there was a 7-week program that we do. We take their project, sit for like 12 hours with them, and understand the use case, Dockerize their files, and then run it, and then implement CI/CD. After that, it's incrementally that they will be doing incremental changing to do a complete DevOps like life cycle of that. That was pretty interesting. We gave them a starting point using their own project to some portion, and then we used to help them. At that time I became a DevOps coach as well for the organization, and which was again very interesting because I was very new and I became the DevOps coach without having any knowledge into this particular field. So again, a lesson like that for everyone is, you might not know things and you might not have experience as well. So I was not having experience, but I was 3 years kind of already in 3 years experience in coding, and still I switched my profile to learn Docker because it was new. And then I moved to cloud because there was one project that wanted a cloud implementation. That was the first time I actually logged into AWS console. That was the first time I logged into AWS console, and as soon as I logged in, I was fascinated by the amount of things you can do on cloud. I mean, I was like, okay, you can create a S3 bucket, you can do so much automation, EC2 instances are available, why I'm doing everything locally, and you have everything which is there, and you just have to implement stuff on that. You have VPC, you have security, you have all sorts of services which is there, and AWS cloud. Then I researched, like it was starting from a very early days. It has been a major player in the cloud. That's why it still kind of has the majority of stake in cloud, because it was very old and it was innovative since the start. I was the first one in my whole building of 6,000-7,000 people to do the first ever AWS certification. And after that, I gave a lot of lectures on how to achieve the certification. And after that, they after me leaving DXC, they made it kind of mandatory for certain projects to be certified in AWS, because it was coming like anything for people to move to cloud, project to move to cloud. That was the real time when you saw all the organizations just talking anywhere in any event, talking about move to containers, move to clouds, move to containers, move to clouds. That was the only conversation that you'll ever hear in that time in any of the events that were happening, because technologies were so hot at that point of time, especially the cloud native stuff. And Google Cloud was just appearing, and Oracle Cloud was not there, and only AWS was a major player. So if you go back into 2016 and 17 time frame, you will see the majority of certifications would only be for AWS, not any other cloud, because they were the pioneers at that time. And after this, there were a lot of improvements in obviously tons of improvements in other cloud vendors, and I switched my jobs as well. So I moved to Oracle, and I didn't work on any of the I gave interviews which were now for the DevOps profile, or a solution engineer profile, because I wanted to build solution around cloud, and then and do that. So those were my first set of interviews, and they went really well. In one interview, I was actually asked, I was given their laptop, their AWS account. I was said, okay, create a VPC and create an instance, and another instance, Bastion host, make sure the connectivity is not there, something like that. A big problem scenario was given, and I had to do that practically. And when I did that, and I was feeling very good, because I was able to do a lot of things without knowing previously. So I didn't stop learning there. I kept learning more and more, and I kept doing all this stuff. So I was in Oracle, and we actually did I was hired as a solution engineer over there, where the role was kind of to listen to customers and create a solution for their problem on the basis of Oracle cloud products. So I was the one who worked at Oracle Kubernetes engine. That was super new at that time, and and that was the time in Oracle where I started my blogging journey, where I started my kind of speaking journey. And this was very interesting because no one ever told me to do. So I myself saw, I don't know whom, just people are doing 100 days of code on Twitter. And what I did was, that time Linux Academy was there. I actually did 100 days of Linux Academy, and I went through some of the courses, started writing the blogs, and it was massive learning for me. Oracle Cloud, Google Cloud, AWS I was already knowing. So I was knowing the major cloud vendors. Obviously the compute, network, storage are the three fundamentals which are there, but apart from this, I was knowing the Oracle Kubernetes engine. I was the kind of one of the first ones to post some of the blogs in that particular domain. And then I attended one of the conferences that happened in I don't know which campus it was, but it was on Kubernetes. So because I was working in Oracle Kubernetes, I was not in till now. I was not in touch with Kubernetes community. Till now, I was away from the Kubernetes community domain, because I was working only on Oracle Kubernetes. I knew about Kubernetes. I knew how this works, how the orchestration piece works, how your control plane and the worker nodes work. But I didn't know about Kubernetes community, the contributions, the mentorships, the KubeCon. All these things were very fancy, and I didn't know about them. But it's okay. I was just starting out. It's I think 2017 end maybe that I was there. Then there was one conference. I attended that. It was superb conference. I met Shannon over there from Rancher. That was the first time I actually came to know about Rancher, and I actually wrote one of the blogs, very first blogs in detail, one on Rancher and Oracle integration, and then doing some of the other things. Then I started speaking internally, giving trainings at Oracle, internally speaking about projects. There was a very cool, again, so I have won something at almost all the organizations. So this organization, in Oracle, I won the hackathon. So there was the first ever hackathon which was organized, and you get a free pass to Singapore, all inclusive, and you get to attend Oracle Open World. Again, a superb conference where everything is amazing. But you have to win a hackathon. So we built a kind of product. I think the video is still there on YouTube. It was a professional video that was created, and we created a kind of a AI kind of platform where it will tell you your posture correction. So basically, if I'm speaking, my posture is right or not. So it will take your images, store them in their Oracle DBs, which was, I think there were new DBs which were created in cloud, ATP and ADW. which were there, and we had to showcase using Oracle technologies, obviously. So we used Oracle Kubernetes engine, their database engine, and all that stuff, and some of the open source toolings like we had OpenCV, where all your points get detected, and then we measured some of the postures, and we told the posture is correct or incorrect. There were a lot of other things. You can do interview preparation. That software will be asking a question in DevOps. I will be answering, and then based on matching, it will tell me the score. It will tell me the grammar check. It will tell me whether I'm fast or I'm slow, depending on the number of words I'm speaking per minute. So all these things were there, and people were really happy with the presentation that we gave. So we won the first prize, and we went to Singapore to Oracle Open World, and that was an amazing trip. I met some of the great folks in the DB space, the VPs, and they wanted to use the product. The people were excited, like, when it will become a product. So it is still like I don't know in which phase in Oracle, but people loved that. And then I moved to Walmart Labs, and there I was working in super exciting project. My interview was totally based on Kubernetes that time, because I was well enough knowing Kubernetes, and I then worked in Walmart in a machine learning project, managing the machine learning platform over 300 plus node Kubernetes size cluster, which you still do not find quite often. And in Walmart, there are a couple of teams who are working extensively on Kubernetes. There was a keynote as well from Walmart folks on what they are building for internally. And you can request a Kubernetes cluster for a team, and you get it, and then you deploy your workloads. Very fancy stuff. We were having our own clusters, multi-cloud stuff in Google and Amazon. Google and Microsoft. So at that time, I was not knowing Microsoft Cloud, so I started learning that. So that was the only cloud that I didn't know at that particular point of time. So I then started with Microsoft Cloud as well. And with this, my journey was, doing all the new technologies, open source stuff. And in Walmart, I went to China actually for my open infrastructure summit just before COVID took place. So it was very interesting times. I went with one of my colleagues, and we gave a presentation on monitoring clusters using open source tools, and it was amazing. So again, like I said, in every organization I do get a chance and do something, submit the papers, and I get a chance to just visit. Although in Walmart itself, I was selected at KubeCon, I was selected at OSConf, which was by O'Reilly, but they both got cancelled due to COVID, and we didn't get a chance to go over there. But that was pretty interesting time. Machine learning platform, I learned a lot of things. I started giving a lot of presentation in the Docker meetups. So that was the time I attended the meetups, and I gave a lot of presentations in person. I just used to go, even if it's 50 folks, 40 folks, 30 folks, even 10 folks I have been to in one of the meetups. I started a Rancher meetup, the first ever in India, Influx, the first ever in India. Then I went for CNCF meetups in different places. So I did a lot of meetups. I went there, spoke about open source technologies because I was learning. Why I was learning? Because there were problems that I had to solve with my platform, and I was exploring them. Some of the new tools, like for long-term retention, I explored Thanos, and for the backups, we for taking the backups and the DR strategy, we explored Velero. So there are tools. Obviously, when the problem occurs, you have some of the tools. Then obviously I implemented the complete monitoring solution, Rancher, a lot of things at that particular place. Some of the observability stuff, what you call, I did that. And then we had our Kubernetes clusters, which we launched at massive scale, DR strategy to be planned. Tons of amazing stuff was going there. And then I was also involved in other communities, including which one of those was CIVO. So CIVO started. So then I had this community that I was also involved in. I was involved in CIVO, and they had this beta program. They had this exclusive invite to Slack. I joined the Slack. We used to get $70 credit and I spinned up clusters because I used to do demos at that point of time. I used to do presentations. I used their stuff. I wrote a couple of blogs on CIVO. I did tweet about them as well, more than a couple of times, and used to tell some of the bugs. They were happy, and one day, like, Mark reached out to me, and there was a casual conversation, nothing specific, because I was happy. Usually the thing is, how opportunities have come to me is not something that I was looking out for, to be very honest. It came, I listened, it gelled well, and I moved. So it was not like I was not happy with the work at any of the places. So I was working perfectly fine in the places, and some opportunity came with the next set of challenges and a compensation increase, obviously. So these two things were there, and when they were meeting, kind of becoming the next then thing for me, for my growth, then I switched to them. But so Mark came, and we had a conversation, more than a couple of conversations actually. Just he explained me, what CIVO is, what are my plans. So I told him, like, I am into open source stuff, what is the stuff I do. And then he he was like, okay, would you like to kind of work for CIVO? I said, let's discuss. So we had a couple of discussions where they explained some of the things that they are doing at that point of time, how they are planning to grow, how they are planning to be big in some of the fields that they are doing very well, because at that time also the cluster launches were super fast, and it was like roughly around 2 to 3 minutes itself. So I was very amazed by that itself. The Kubernetes K3s I was working, I gave a couple of sessions at that point of time. I started my YouTube channel at that point of time. I had I was a CNCF ambassador at that point of time. So a lot of things was already there at that point of time, and so things went kind of silent for some time, and then I mean, it was nothing like nothing was wrong, but things were like, okay, we discussed, and it was like silent. Then again, after a few months, Mark reached out to me. Okay, we think that we need someone like you to help us support grow. And so I was like, okay. Then we discussed the job role specifications, how things will work out. I was the first employee in India, so it is difficult because when you don't have any of the setup, then how the salary structures would work, how the salary would be credited to my account. So all those things, that actually took a lot of time. So once that was sorted, and I served my notice period, and I was in CIVO, and now since then I am working as Director of Technical Evangelism over here, working at multiple things at CIVO, including the marketplace. We created the academy, by the way. You go to civo.com/academy. It is free of cost, and worked on tons of blogs and product strategy that is building based on the suggestions. Then some of the helping in the SRE front, at times, obviously fixing the bugs and finding the bugs, which is very important. And I really liked one of the Google PM's a thought process. Like, when you are a PM, it doesn't mean that we only focus on features. We have to thoroughly test the features. We have to see how it works, how well it integrates, how it is tested, find the bugs, and then we release that. So it is important because it's your product, and you have to be in the customer's shoes to see what is wrong with it, and you have to fix it. So I did a lot of that as well. And yeah, it's been a pretty interesting ride at CIVO till now, and I'm pretty much enjoying the work I'm getting. So that's how was my journey from like so and so Java developer to a kind
I
of.
believe we talked about your entire life. That was nice. But I think I can, definitely pick up from this is like you are always open to learning new things.
Absolutely.
Right? And just That is what I would recommend everyone else as well. Like, be open to learning new things, be open to challenges. So like you mentioned, you were given a Docker project and you didn't know much about Docker and you instantly said yes. So I think that is something that is very great, and I also do that. Like, whenever I find an opportunity that would challenge me, I am like, okay, I can learn this, I can do this. And even in open source, you find yourself when you're working on a project you don't know much about, that's a good thing, because now you get to learn so much things. So I think that's great, and highly recommend everyone to follow this structure as well. Thanks a lot for sharing, Saiyam. Really appreciate it. You shared your entire journey. It was very inspirational. And can you tell us a little bit more about your YouTube channel, what that is about and what you're doing over there?
Yeah, so basically I run a YouTube channel, and I do a few things like CNCF minutes. It tells you about specific CNCF projects in few minutes. So this is very interesting, and obviously I'll continue them. Then live streams with the maintainers, the co-founders, and the experts in their domain, like how things are working, like people building chaos mesh maintainers, people who have actually built plugins in WSL and build Kubeform configurator. So learning from the co-founders, from the maintainers is pretty interesting, because you get to know a lot of things, and obviously it's all technical, and you get the demos as well. I run a Search Magic show with CNCF TV, so this is a playlist for that. Then there are regular video uploads where I sometimes I just pick a tech and explore it. Some are less kind of just an introductory, and some are more kind of deep dive, which is there. So those are pretty interesting. I used to do Twitch streams. I did 4 of them where I explored stuff with the community, and then I don't know if I'll start that again, but still it's there. Then I did an awesome serverless using Cloud Run as well, and we have some of the other amazing people in the cloud native folks that you should definitely follow. So yeah, this is what I do. There are 110 plus videos on my YouTube channel, and also if you like to support, I recently launched a membership program where you can support my work. So it's different levels of memberships that you can purchase, and for each membership obviously you get some of the extra perks which are there. So you can have a look at that as well if you would like to.
Most definitely, I'll leave the links to all of these in the description. Some amazing cloud native content over there, and more to come. For the Hindi speaking folks, we also have CloudShala. The links for that will also be in the description. And well, thanks a lot for joining, Saiyam. It was a really great great session. Learned a lot, and hopefully definitely we're going to do more collabs, because we work closely together.
Yeah, but CloudShala is pretty interesting. Myself and Kunal have started this initiative to reach more people, to make it easy for some of the folks who might not be able to understand that well, to ease out concepts and to reach more masses. So that was the only goal, and CloudShala will be having kind of complete cloud bootcamp kind of stuff, which will be there from start to end, from like the Linux required for Kubernetes, Docker which is required, container knowledge, Kubernetes, then all on the advanced stuff which is there. So we'll go through all of them. So the learnings, like I would say, the only funda of surviving in the IT industry is keep learning each day.
Keep learning.
The day you start learning is the day your career ends. Trust me, it is true, especially in the industry, in the era that you are living at the moment. So go 20 years back, 10 years back, it was okay if you learn something in a 2 months time span, or 3 months, or even 4 months time span. It was okay. But right now, at the moment, if you stop learning, you are in danger, because of the evolution of the tools, evolution of technology, the pace at which it is the evolution is happening, and the students are becoming more and more educated. Obviously Kunal is there, and there are other folks who are educating the student community. So you are seeing from where the competition is right. The competition is now from the beginning, from the scratch. So you can't stop learning. You have to work hard. You have to learn each of this thing right now. So you stop thinking about all the other stuff. Go.
It's a for clouds itself, like with Gates and stuff, I mean the number of opportunities are so much. It's like plenty of opportunities for all. I was reading an article right now on like the cloud related roles. It's like there are less people for cloud roles. They're actually looking for more
True.
people. So
That
it's
is
like
so true.
it's a great field to get into right now because so many people are shifting their infrastructure. K8s is not that old. It's a very new technology. So if you feel like there are like less opportunities, no, I don't think that's true. It's like a very nice time for you to get started with these things, and like I'm doing this as a student, you can definitely as well. So get involved and subscribe to the channel. Check out Saiyam's channel, and we do streams and spaces and live streams and videos regularly. We have the Discord community. You can join, links are in the
Yeah.
description. You can get notified and ask questions over there. But yeah, well, thanks a lot for joining, Saiyam. Really appreciate it. That was another episode wrapped up for Open Source Cafe. We will see you next week, and yeah, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, have a good day. Bye, everyone.
Yep. Thank you all. Nice to be here.